Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. How was everybody's first day of daylight savings time that was a work day? Today was kind of weird for me. You know, I seem to be running behind most of the day for a lot of stuff, but my son seems to be adjusting well to it, and that's a good thing because normally he has a hard time, but so far he's okay. But just as an FYI, people with autism tend to not do well with the time change. It tends to, I don't know, just mess with them. More so than it messes with the rest of us. I mean, a lot of people can't deal with the time change. I haven't heard of any cases this year, but I mean, in years past, some people have actually, had physical reactions to the time change, heart palpitations, even so much as a heart attack to, the change in time. So it can have an effect on the body. So I do understand the effect that it has on, those who are on the autism spectrum, because their brain processes a lot of things, differently. And they can, they like to have things a certain way, they like to have things a certain way. But so far he's doing pretty well. We're trying to just keep him on his normal schedule and keep him on track with all the things that he needs to do. So, I had a pretty interesting day though. I must say that, after the broadcast on last evening, I did, go around and do a little digging and stuff just to kind of hear some stuff because I was, intrigued in regards to what the conversation was that happened with one of my mods. And so I did do some, I did go do some looking around. I went out and actually listened to a couple of videos on the YouTuber's channel where these things happened. And when I went on there, I guess I didn't see it the same way. I kind of saw it is that this particular YouTuber just didn't want to get in the middle of the whole situation. They weren't really trashing anybody per se. They had an opinion about the situation and they voiced that. The other thing, I guess, from what I can see, is this particular YouTuber's demeanor is they call everybody, the B word. It's just how they talk. And yeah, they pretty much, called out the foolery in the whole situation, from their perspective, or the fact that this is being talked about a year later. Like, why is it being talked about? So those were all relevant points. And I agreed with that, and maybe because I'm not directly involved in the situation, I didn't see it as this particular YouTuber dragging my mod. I think they just were calling things the way that they saw them, perspective, rather than, trying to drag anybody, because I kind of skipped through the entire 5-hour broadcast. Yes, I did. And then the other hour that happened after it, just so I would have some clarity, as to what happened, as to what went on. Because, this particular YouTuber was funny to me. I actually liked the way that, she did her thing. She kept it real. She, has a lot of personality, and she's running her platform the way she wants to. And, it just appears she didn't want to get involved. That was really the way it looked to me. It's like, yeah, I've had some issues with these people in the past, but I don't want to deal with this situation. I don't want to be pulled into the middle of this, and rightfully so, because it's not her situation. It really isn't, her fight, and, the sad thing is that it's even happening right now. Now, I'm not even going into details about the situation because I don't want to give life to people who don't need life. Okay. But if my mod was in the room and was comfortable with me, saying what the situation is, I would. But other than that, I'm not going to, because it doesn't need to be talked about from that perspective. I just, went to go find out if really, if really, she had been dragged by this other YouTuber who wasn't involved in the situation. And from what I could see, that's not really what happened. They just didn't really want to get involved in it, and they didn't take kindly to, what they felt was being tricked into getting into the situation. Hey, Matt. Yeah, I think they felt like they were being blindsided into the situation, and that it was not a situation they wanted to get involved in. But other than that, I liked the YouTuber. I thought she was hilarious. I mean, she pretty much was giving everybody involved in the situation the business. As an outsider looking in, and her perspective was hilarious. So I had to laugh. Because it was funny, and I didn't see her doing anything such as disrespecting anybody or saying anything. I think that she had a perspective based on how she understood the situation. And I understood what her perspective was, because she doesn't know the backstory, because it's not her situation. So that being said, additional clarity was given to the situation via another YouTuber today, so hopefully, all parties involved will just move on. Yeah, as all parties involved need to move on. I mean, my mod had moved on. She was trying to move on. She's doing her own thing. If all she wants to do all day is never show her face. That's her right to do that on her channel. And I'm, on that piece, people, I don't understand why people get in their feelings about how she runs her channel and say stuff about how she's running her channel. That means you're watching her channel. If you don't like what she's doing on her channel, then why are you watching? Just wondering, So, but as far as the other people involved, personally, I think everybody needs to just stay in their own lane. But I also think that, everybody has a right to go where they want to go on YouTube. And nobody should be uncomfortable going into certain YouTube chats because of drama. Hey, Heaven Sent. I know it's so crazy though, Matt. I'm like, to me, it's like we're talking about grown people doing this kind of BS. This is the kind of stuff that you heard about when you were in high school. This is the kind of stuff you see little young folks doing, going back and forth on Facebook. But the crazy thing is that when it's happening on Facebook and on Instagram and everything, somebody in some of those situations ends up dead. And I'm not saying that's going to happen in this situation, but I think in this situation, everybody needs to just leave everybody alone. Stay on your side of YouTube. And keep the toxicity to a minimum. It's so much energy that's being wasted. Meanwhile, the rest of us are out here just going about our business, creating content. Of course, there are people who are going to want us to see the drama. But if you go back and look, if you really think about it, a lot of people who like to see the drama are the subscribers. They're not content creators, but they're being entertained at the expense of other content creators. And I'm like, isn't there something else that we can talk about besides each other? People are so petty. So petty. Hey, Tutu Thing. So petty. I'm like, and it's ridiculous to me. This is YouTube. We don't know each other. In a few situations, people do know each other off of YouTube. But that is few and far between. For the majority of us, ain't seen each other off of YouTube. And to be quite frankly, probably haven't seen each other on YouTube because a lot of people use avatars because they don't get in front of the camera, which is one of the reasons why, sometimes I'm on camera, sometimes I'm not. I do whatever I choose to do because I'm a woman. So, hey, Terry. But there's so much great content in the world to put out that we shouldn't have time to be talking about other YouTubers. We should be busy doing whatever we got to do. Now, of course you got the beef sector, and that's what they do. Okay? That's what they do. They beef. That's what that sector is all about. But it shouldn't be all over YouTube. And it shouldn't be so many grown folk I'm just, you know, shouldn't be so many grown folks fighting over cyber relationships, fighting over cyber issues, and then making those cyber issues into real issues. You know, taking that stuff into your real life or making that your real life. You know? Oh, I didn't catch his live earlier. I didn't get the notification in time. But, you know, that's YouTube. I wish I had been in that. I was in his early live during the day. Did he do another one tonight? Because I couldn't find it. Oh yeah, no, you mean the one during the day? Yeah, the one during the day. I was in the clouds for most of it, and then I came down. But I was there for that one. Yeah, but I had already listened to her stuff, and that's what I was saying. From what I could see, she wasn't dragging really anybody. She was just calling everything the way she saw it. It appears to be she's one of those women who calls everybody the B word. So it is what it is in regards to that, you know. But I got the feeling that she just didn't want to be involved in the BS. She didn't want to be involved in it. She thought it was stupid that this was being talked about a year later, you know, and that, you know, it was just a situation of somebody getting played, point blank, period. And she didn't want to get involved in a foolery, even though, you know, she had previous, you know, issues with some of the players. She didn't want to get involved in all of that stuff. That's not how she gets down. So, but the way she talked was hilarious. I like her style. She's funny. I know it's not my favorite word either. I don't particularly care for it either. You know, but that's her channel. That she runs her channel the way she wants to run her channel. You know. It's a figure of speech for some people, Matt, but a lot of women take offense to that word. A lot of women take offense to it. No, the B word. We're not talking about the N. You know, I mean, they take offense to some other words too. You know. I do too. Because she's not because it's like, don't these people have anything else to talk about? Why are we talking about something that happened a long time ago? If everybody's moved on, then move on. That's the way I felt about it. She moved on, and she's growing her little channel. I mean, she's moving towards 800 subscribers. She's trying to get to her little 1K. And I hope she gets to it. And I keep telling her, you know, places to go to get more subscribers, to make new friends that are not, you know, in the middle of all this drama. because she has a lot of stuff that she talks about on her channel. She's she's very, very smart, as far as, books, but I think that she I think that in this situation that happened, it made her just look gullible, you know, you know, but it's over. It's done. And that's my thing. She's talked about it. She said, how she felt about it. Everybody, so why are we still talking about it? Why are the other people bringing it up? I don't even understand. Why is it still being talked about? Because I hope ain't nobody trying to run somebody off of YouTube. Like, are you freaking serious? Trying to run people off of YouTube? Stop that. That's just crazy to me. Yeah, so it's like, hopefully, this whole situation blows over. I know that, she has some people in her corner who are helping her with these other folk, and the best thing for the rest of us to do is just to be here as a support, and hopefully this goes away again forever this time. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, they don't have nothing else to talk about. Like, there's plenty of content. Talk about all the people who are getting the coronavirus in the United States. Let's talk about that, huh? Rather than talking about something that happened over a year ago. Well, that really didn't even happen. It's all cyber. It's all cyber. That's the thing. All cyber. The entire thing was on the internet. So, and we grown folk. So that's why I don't understand why we're still talking about it. Is it the only thing that you have of relevance to talk about? Or are there other things that you can be talking about? It's people in a specific sector that, feel like they have a right, to come at her this way, over and over and over and over and over again. And it just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand why grown folk are acting like this. I don't understand why grown folk are acting like this. Let that girl live. Let her do her thing. Over here, she ain't bothering y'all. So, it is what it is. Everybody has an opinion. But, hopefully, they'll just stop talking about this on YouTube. It's a whole lot of stuff that I wish, would just stop. Like I told y'all, like yesterday was International Women's Day, and it was nothing but just women dragging women on YouTube. It was just crazy to me. They probably didn't even know it was International Women's Day. I guess not. Or didn't mean a daggone thing. Yeah. Exactly. That's the only thing that we can do is just be her support, because we're really people on the outside looking in, you know. Um, we're people on the outside looking in, you know. But it's not our situation. Hey, Tatted Hearts. So, but moving back on to our country and the coronavirus. So apparently, I was incorrect because apparently there has been a known case of coronavirus in my hometown of Washington, D.C. Because apparently somebody who's in some other part of the country, that's where they got it and took it home with them. But now New York apparently has the most cases in the entire country. That's not good. Oh, and they have been talking about people, emptying the shelves across the country, certain products. And in some areas, they're now putting limits on how many people can get so that, they hopefully have enough for everyone. Rather than, you take 10 when you only need 2. Move to Iceland. No, I don't think we want to move to Iceland. Ugh. Yeah. So, but apparently Italy has surpassed Iceland. Ridiculous with the cases in Italy. They surpassed them. I'm like, why are these like weird places in Europe with high concentrations of people that are positive with the coronavirus? I don't get that. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. What was there? A huge number of people from Italy in China? I mean, in the entire country, we don't have that many cases in our country. And I'm sure a lot of people have been to China here. And then on cruises and all of this other stuff where we have the potential of having, but it's just really strange how there's like 75,000 cases in that little teeny country of Italy. Oh yeah, the stock market, man. Don't even look at your 401ks for a while. Just pretend they don't exist right now. If you have any monies tied up into the stock market, it's just best not to look at it right now. Because they don't know how to react. Now one of the things that's being reported now is that this particular virus doesn't thrive as well in warmer weather. So I guess the thought is that, maybe by, May we'll be out of the woods, but it's only March. So we still got over 60 days. I'm just saying. We got a little while to go. Got a little while to go. But that's the good news in regards to the virus, is that, you know, if we can get through the next couple of months, there'll probably be less, you know, cases of it. That's not very reassuring right now, though. You know, but they haven't increased the mortality rate. I haven't heard them say anything more than the 3% that they were saying. But, you know, with other types of viruses of this manner, generally it's less than 1%. And they now have, in Los Angeles County, it's now 16 cases. Y'all know I know. I'm watching the number go up. It's like 4 more cases every day. Last time it was 11, now it's jumped to 16. And most of the cases in Los Angeles County are within, you know, are in the close Los Angeles area. And then let's not forget that there's some in Orange County. Oh yeah, it'll be back next year, but by next year they claim they'll have a vaccine for it. You know, and they're still encouraging people to get their flu shot so they don't get the flu. Because they're saying, you know, if you get the flu, then you may be more susceptible if you are around someone with this. But most of us are not going to be around anyone with this, you know, because most people have, you know, they're canceling trips. They're not going, you know, they're not going to events that are at, you know, concerts, that, you know, festivals are being canceled. A lot of stuff is being done to curtail the spread of this season. It is spreading though. So the only thing that they can do is slow down the spread. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks is not enough of quarantine, you know? Or maybe people aren't being, not enough people are being tested. Something. But see, this is the kind of stuff that people could be talking about. This is the kind of stuff that people could be talking about. Instead of things that really, in all actuality, because once again, they are cyber things. They didn't happen in real life. They didn't happen offline. It didn't get to that point. So we're going to just say, you know, let's take the phrase from the song in the movie Frozen. Let it go. You know, be like Elsa. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. If only it was still 2019. I still have this cold. Ooh, I still have the cold. The cough, rather, from the cold. No, the virus was in China, at least as far back as December of 2019. And if they had said something in December of 2019, then we probably wouldn't be dealing with this as a global issue in 2020. But you can't trust them. You cannot trust China in regards to this. Guys, I'm gonna put you guys on mute for a second because I got a cough again, so I'm gonna mute it this time. I'll be right back. I'm back, guys. I feel better. I'm not coughing again, hopefully, for the rest of the broadcast. Sorry about that. I couldn't tell you I was gonna mute fast enough for the first one. You know what? I am better, Tutu Thing. I am. It's just, the last thing to go is like the cough. You can't get rid of that for a minute. And so I'm just drinking lots and lots of water and trying to get the rest of that phlegm out of me. So I think I'm going to take some Robitussin tonight. I haven't taken that because I don't like to do the med thing, But I think a steam session might do well too. I think that China underestimated this virus. I really think that they underestimated it. And it was out of their control. And then they tried to hide it. But, how can you hide something when you're not quarantining people and keeping them from leaving the country? I mean, I think they've got, like I said, there are hundreds of thousands of cases in China itself. And although I feel something, I feel empathy and sympathy for those poor people in that country, especially in that one region where that was really the hardest hit, but I blame it's spreading like wildfire on the government in China, who supposedly has one of the best health systems in the world. Well, why couldn't you do something about this? Just wondering. It's like, with all your Eastern medicine versus our Western medicine, I'm just saying, how come you couldn't get a handle on this before it spread around the freaking world? I'm just saying, it's like, what? I feel like they think that they know better than everyone else. But I still continue to say what I said before, is that this is some type of biological warfare. It is. The most vulnerable to it are obviously those who already have health issues or older people. And when I say older, do you know that they're talking about older is 50 and above? Yeah, so I fall right into that. But I happen to be in very good health for the most part. I got a cold here, but that's it. I rarely get the flu. Rarely get the flu. And I've never gotten it to the point that I had to go to the hospital. So that's a blessing. I usually just get a really bad cold. But this time I just got a long cold. No, it's not that long. It's just a few days, really. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm pretty much over it now. So about a week. It took me about a week to get back to being myself. I'm not really talking through my nose anymore, but I still have the, a little congestion in my chest. So I can breathe and I can take in air and I don't hear anything, but it's still hiding up in there. So that's why I said maybe another steam session will do good with that. And maybe, now I'll take a little Robitussin. This is a little on the, we don't know a lot about this virus. That's the concern. So because we don't know a lot about the virus, my concern is as to what they're trying to do as far as vaccines for it. What are the pharmaceutical companies concocting? Because with all vaccines, there's always a few people who are going to get it. But see, here's the thing. Like for this season, if you don't get it, you've built up the antibodies and you've moved on. Trust me, whatever comes next season, it's not going to be the same coronavirus that was here this season, because we will have already, those of us who managed to get through the entire season with not getting it, somehow our bodies will have built up some type of resistance to the same strain. And it will still be a mutation. So the vaccine that they give you for this season's coronavirus, we don't know what the heck it's going to do for the coronavirus that's going to come next season. I'm just saying. Because now it's out there, so it's going to come back. As long as it was in that little petri dish in somebody's lab, there was no chance of it mutating. But now that it's out, this strain will mutate so that it will not be as effective on the next strain that the vaccine will be around for. I'm just making that point, you guys. Just making that little slight point. It's not raining right now, but it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days, for the next 2 days, actually. Today's Monday. Yeah. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and all day Wednesday. So tomorrow's supposed to be a rainy day. So we'll see how it goes. But it's supposed to be a rainy day. It's not raining right now, though. But they said it was going to be raining again by after midnight. So I'm expecting rain later on tonight. Is it raining up there where you are, Tutu Thing? Oh, the mark of the beast, man. Well, we all have a chip in our you know, all of our ATM cards have chips in them. You don't have a choice. If you've got a checking account, you know, you've got a chip in your card. Unless you have one that's not, like a Visa or a MasterCard. But because everybody's going to be getting this real ID, everybody's going to have a chip in their ID. Something, I don't know if that's, to me, the mark of the beast is these people who are putting these things up under their skin. I think they would use that type of technology, which is already in existence. Where people just, scan their wrists and it opens doors for them at work and stuff. Scan their wrists and pay for their lunch. Crazy. I would never do something crazy like that. But there are people who are willing to do it. So to me, I still think of the mark of the beast as being something that's on your physical person. So the technology already exists to make it happen. Yep. They don't even, people are still dying. Somebody else died today. Someone else died today. It was an older lady. She was 60. So she wasn't that much older than me. You feel me? But that's why I said they consider my age and from 50 on up as being older. And I guess it's because people within that age range, some of us do have health issues, but that doesn't mean that we're all going to catch this daggone coronavirus. Yeah, well, here, Terry, we have 16 cases in Los Angeles County, and I know that someone died today who was 60 years old. It was a woman. So there was another death today. I'm not sure what part of the country the person was in, but I just remembered that the person wasn't that much older than myself. That made me feel all warm and fuzzy. I don't think I'm that old. I don't feel that old. I don't look that old. And hopefully my body is not in shape of someone who's almost, close to 60. But it's scary to think about that somebody that close in age to me passed from this coronavirus. However, I'm covered, and I'm not going to be around, anything that's going to put myself in jeopardy, and I don't have to worry about my son being around it because the people that work with them, none of them want to catch it, so they're certainly not going to take any of the workers, around anything like that. And they always are wearing gloves when they're working too. But he works outside for the most part, so he's not going to be working tomorrow outside. I don't know what they're going to do. as a matter of fact, because if it's raining, they don't go outside. Because they, he does stuff in parks and different stuff like that. That's what he does. Yeah, move of population control, but who are they trying to get rid of? Because doesn't seem to be affecting, very many people of color. I'm just saying. So, but maybe that's because, number one, a lot of us aren't weren't traveling to China or thereabouts. Not that we don't, we just weren't at that time. Nor were there a lot of us on the cruises, because maybe we don't do winter cruises. I've done a fall cruise, but I've never gone on a cruise in the wintertime. I thought about going on one actually this year. It was a winter cruise. It was a karaoke cruise. And it was like around the Super Bowl, so it was close to my birthday. But I decided it's not what I wanted to do. So I chose not to go. Especially because I had been hearing things about people getting sick just from other stuff on cruise lines, lately. That's what I was thinking about. And I got sick one time when I was on a cruise. And and I know it was from the food. Because it was a couple of us who got sick. And we all had eaten in the same place on the cruise line. So, yeah. And then, but with all this stuff, and people already getting sick on cruises and stuff, nah, I wouldn't have been going on a cruise. And although I wanting to go to the Middle East, and to the Far East, and to Europe and all of that stuff is on my bucket list. Well, I've been to Europe, but to different countries. And I've actually been to Italy. But all of those things on my bucket list, but not for this year. And now with this virus, really not for this year. Yeah, I think I'll do any traveling that I plan on doing out of the country next year. Hopefully, they won't have any craziness like this. Because this really makes you think about, well, shoot, should I get on a plane and go anywhere? Now I am planning on getting on a plane at some point this year, because I am going to go see my 81-year-old father. Yes, I am. But that's just going to North Carolina. That's not going out of the country. And I'm probably going to do that when it's a little warmer. In the summer or May, a month that has no R in it, so I can get me some blue crabs from the Chesapeake Bay. Well, there is a case reported in Africa, in South Africa, I believe, but the person didn't contract it there. They contracted it in Italy. And nobody is catching it around them. So that would lead one to believe that maybe some melanated skin is, immune to it. See, here's the problem. A lot of people, they keep talking about whether you have RH or no RH, in your blood. I don't have RH, so I don't even know what that they're talking about in regards to that. But they claim that people who have no RH might be immune to this. I'm not going to test out that factor. Not testing it out. You know, glad I don't have any rhesus monkey blood. Okay. But I'm not going to test out the fact as to whether, because I don't, I'm immune. Hey, Zero. Yeah, the food is bad sometimes on, well, see, here's the thing. The food in the dining room is great. But this was like, you know, when they have those bars with food and all kinds of stuff all night long on some of those cruises, and you get hungry in the middle of the night, and you go, you get, you know, pizza and, you know, chicken strips that have been sitting under a lamp for you don't know how long, but you're hungry, so you're going to eat it. It was that kind of situation on the boat. And I think it was a it was a company thing. I was on the cruise with folks from the job. So that part was real fun. You know, it was a couple of us who got sick from that freaking food. You know, but yeah, they're saying that some people, you know, who are RH negative, they think that we may be immune to it. But as I say, I'm not going to test it out. Okay? Because although I am RH negative, one of my parents is not. You know? And then for each one of them, one of their parents was not. You know, like my father had RH, my mom doesn't. In my dad's family, his mother didn't have it, his dad did. In my mother's family, her mother didn't have it. No, her mother did have it, her dad didn't. Yeah. So we don't know where RH comes from. All it means really is that some of us have the same types of factors in our blood as the rhesus monkey, which I guess is the closest of any monkey as far as their DNA to ours. But we're not monkeys. And neither are people who have the RH factor. It just means that they have a similarities in their blood to that of these particular monkeys. And then there's some of us who don't. That's why when women are pregnant, they have to get a Rogaine shot if they don't have RH in their blood, so that their body will not think that their baby is a foreign substance and abort it. So, you know, I don't understand the full workings of blood, but I understand enough to know that we don't have actual monkey blood. I know that much. I know enough about it to know is that there are similar factors in some of us, in some of our blood that's not in other people's, and that's how they're able to tell the difference between this group of people who don't have those factors. And it's important for them to know that, because we can't get any blood that has those factors in it. We can only take blood from someone who does not have the RH factor. Like, my son can never give me blood because he does not have the same blood type as I do. He has the same blood type as his dad, and it has RH. You know? I know. I like, but yeah, they're saying that little thing. I said, but when they forget to figure out when they're talking about if people don't have RH in their blood versus they do. Most of us do. It's just if one of my parents had RH, one of my parents doesn't. So what ended up happening is that I'm the one of their children who didn't get the RH, but my siblings all have positive blood. I don't. So that means that even someone who doesn't have RH in them, if one of their parents did, then they do have the subsets for RH. So, unless you have pure blood that nobody in your entire family has the RH factor in it. And that's rare, because not having RH in your blood apparently is rare. It's rare. So, but it doesn't do anything to, other than you can't take somebody's blood if they have RH. Oh, I heard about that tutu thing. It was on the news. It was on the freaking news today. Yeah, they actually showed the video of it. The guy at the front door with the thermometer. Crazy. And that's that's crazy, because Alhambra is actually is more racially diverse now. As I have friends that live in Alhambra. I mean, Alhambra is you do have a huge Asian population there, but there are more Hispanics and blacks that live there now. It's not, Monterey Park is more. Monterey Park is more. But it's more Vietnamese in Monterey Park. I don't have sickle cell. I don't have the. It's not even in my family. Yeah, my family, we do not have the sickle cell trait at all. It's not even in my family. Nobody. And I made sure, and I made my ex-husband take the test too. Before we were even married, it wasn't in his family either. So there was no way that we could even have a kid with the trait. Yeah. Now I have cousins. I have a cousin that has the trait, because my uncle married someone whose family does have the sickle cell trait, but we don't have it in ours. Thank God, because I have a friend who had sickle cell, still has it because they're still here. And then I have another friend, who just recently died. And she was like she made it all the way into her 60s with that. But I knew what you were talking about. Tutu thing. Yeah. I mean, that's something that, that Black people in America do. Some of us carry it and some of us don't. And I don't know if it is something, from my understanding, I think it developed as a result of malaria. in the cells and people, and that was the abnormality that grew. But you know, I guess I probably should do more research. That would be something to do some research on. What really causes that, because it's not just something that it's primarily people of African descent that have it, but you have it. There are also people in the Middle East that also carry the trait. It's not just black. It's black and brown, really. It's not just but with sickle cell, it's not just a black disease, although it's predominantly. I always wonder if there is as much about sickle cell on the continent, because I don't know if it's something that developed from our ancestors having to cross the Atlantic, or if this is something that also existed in Africa. Oh, your daughter lives there? Yeah, my one of my really good friends that I used to work with lives there, and she has lived there since the late 80s. She's had her house. So, and she is black, but her ex-husband is Latino, and he was a police officer. He probably still is. Yeah, but I think that area it has changed. There are still a lot of Asians in that area, but that's just not the only population in there, because a lot of them has spread out. You have some in if you San Gabriel, what is that place that's right next to Pasadena? Not South Pasadena. I'm not talking about South Pasadena. It's another place that's like right by Pasadena. San Marino. It's a little teeny community. Kid you not. Little teeny community. But they have one of the most vicious Asian gangs that comes out of there. And they're really, really rich. Yeah, that's that. And that little particular community is very, very Chinese. Because the Asian gangs are Chinese gangs. They are, whew. Some of them are worse than gangs like the Bloods and the Crips. Seriously, really, really are. Yeah, but I mean, that would just be crazy. I mean, we got Chinatown in Los Angeles. That's close to Dodger Stadium. Koreatown is not far from there. I mean, I know where everything is, and then you start going out, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Montebello. I'm telling you, those areas are, but it's a mixture of Asian and Latino. A lot has changed, you know. But Alhambra still has a very strong, has some very strong communities within the Asian population that are still there. But the younger ones, they don't tend to, live there. They want to live, they don't want to live in the community. Yeah, they don't want to live in the community. So that's why I say a lot of that has changed. The demographics is starting to change. But that's how it is in Los Angeles. That's how it is in LA. But I see where are we? It's we're a little bit over an hour, so I'm going to come on for a minute. Because it's almost midnight, guys. So let me show my face. So yeah, know I'm really here. Hi, everybody. Let me move over. All right, there we go. How are you guys? Thank you for coming. I appreciate everybody for coming tonight. I got on my nice warm sweater tonight with long sleeves. Probably should have worn this tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to be raining all day, but I'm going to be inside. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I was just looking at my phone. It's right here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm going to shut it down now, and I will be back on tomorrow. I thank y'all for being here, and thank you for hanging out till the end with me like y'all always do. I appreciate it. So until tomorrow, I offer you guys peace. See, I never get that right. Peace and blessings from the West Side, guys. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay dry, thing.